Very good morning, students. Let's continue our session. Residuary power, that is our first topic in today's learning. The power which is not specifically distributed between union government or state government, that all power is included in residuary power. The central government has given this power to our legislature on this residuary subject, because in this residuary subject there is a financial distribution of resource between union, or we can say central government, and state government. Between both it is divided, that excise and custom, export import, income tax, all these major taxes, they are decided by central government. While next the sales tax, revenue tax, entertainment tax, educational tax, this all have limited financial resource, and that's why that is decided by state government. Next is unified arrangement during crisis. Means sometimes any emergency situations occur, at that time there is a different arrangement for this requirements. First is national emergency can be declared. Why the national emergency can be declared? Because at the time of war or any external attack or any armed riot, the situation is totally out of control. That's why for that national emergency can be declared. Second is due to law and order breakdown. If someone break the law or order, and at that time state cannot function according to the rules or regulations which are written in constitution, at that time constitutional emergency is declared. Third is due to increase in prices. When there is fluctuation in prices, at that time the value of finance, or we can say money, is decreased. That's why at that time financial emergency is declared. So the central government has given power to deal with these emergencies, that you have power that when you face any kind of this emergencies, you can control by your own. We are giving you authority. Next is parliamentary system. As we know that India has parliamentary system of governance, and it is the supreme authority which represent people. Here we are having two houses in parliament. First one, upper house and lower house. As we all are aware, that upper house is called Rajya Sabha and lower house is considered as Lok Sabha. Government carried on in the name of president, okay, at the union, or we can say at the central level, and governor in state, who will handle our state's affair. Through the government in the states, actual administration is carried out by the Council of Ministers headed by Prime Minister at the Union and Chief Minister in the state. So President will give authority to Prime Minister to control central affairs, and Chief Ministers for handling any kind of problem at state level. The Council of Minister is responsible for any legislature that involves the representative of people. President will select only 12 people who are experts and are having experienced from various fields for management of Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is a permanent house. So the person who are elected in that, they will retire after 6 years of tenure, and at every 2 years 1/3 members will be retired. The power of the Rajya Sabha is less in comparison of Lok Sabha, because special, superior and important powers given to Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha cannot completely dissolve. They are having power, but not more in comparison of Lok Sabha. Next is independent and impartial judiciary. That means our constitution has provided for establishment of an independent and neutral judiciary. There should be neutral judgment. No one should given more priority. There is a Supreme Court at the top level, then at the below higher court at states under its jurisdictions are the district courts at district level, and at taluka level there are local and special court. I hope everyone is aware about this courts. Now next, the judgment of Supreme Courts are responsible to all subordinate courts of the nation. Whichever judgment is passed by the Supreme Court, that each and every court have to follow. In case of conflict, if there is any problem which arise between union and state government, then that matter related to constitutions are interpretations of statutes. At that time the final decision is given by the Supreme Court. That is why the Supreme Court is protector and legally responsible for all the care of our constitution. Amendment in constitution. Compared to other countries, our constitution is active and our constitution can be changed as and when required. Whenever we think we need change, then at that time we can make changes. Not we, but the Constitution Assembly can make changes when it's required. It is it is changed in three ways. First, made by simple majority of members present and voting right. Okay, with the help of voting right, and whichever members are present over there, so with the help of them they can make changes. Second, if they want to make changes, then there is a required of special majority, that is 2/3 majority of members present and voting right. That means from all the members 2/3 members are required at present and for voting right. And lastly, concerning of state or central relations, special majority as above the 2/3 and the concurrence, or we can say altogether not less than 50% of state legislature is required for making changes in our constitution. If there is any change to be made in the interrelation between union, or we can say central or state structure, or if in supreme judiciary, then half of the states from the total states have to give their agreement that we are not having any problem if you make certain changes. Then judgment of the court can also bring changes by the parliament. When court give any judgment, at that time also parliament can make the changes. There will be no change in basic structure. The structure will not change. Structure will as it is, but the rules or regulations can be changed when it's needed. Simple majority in parliament that can bring changes in constitution, and that is why our constitution is known as inconstant. Means it can changeable and flexible document, but at certain cases only. It is manageable by simple majority. Without any majority's opinion, the states cannot make any kind of changes. Next is universal adult surface. Means the choices for adult. In India we are having system of adult choices, and which is flexible. According to that, any citizen who is above age of 18 and above possesses right to vote in election of the parliament. Above 18 age, one can vote in parliament. Legislative assembly or local self bodies, they have without any discrimination of education, property and economic standards. There is not needed of education, property or economic standards. They don't have to face any kind of discrimination. Next is secularism. As we discussed earlier about secularism in a preamble, okay, that our constitutions have been declared a secular state. That means people from different religion can come to India and they can live here. The state cannot discriminate, and they will not discriminate any citizens on the basis of religion. Every religion people will be provided equal rights and freedoms. Not any citizen is special, or we can say not any religion is special. Even one cannot give depression for certain rights to any citizen. The state has to be absolute impartial. While facing this, the state must be impartial and neutral in respect of religion. Every religion is equal for everyone. The state should also be secular, and the state cannot make any differences between any religion. They have to allow each community to follow their own rules and regulations and to follow their practices of the religions of their choice. We cannot impose any religion on any community. Next is judicial review, or we can say legal reviews. Legally, the chief characteristics of constitution: administration work of union and state within authority without disrespecting the power of parliament. The constitution has made an effort to match the principles of judicial review. Constitutions has already given authority to central and state level that you can do whatever you want, but please make sure that you do not disrespect any rules of constitutions. You need to match your principles according to legal reviews. If court finds any indifference in external orders, ordinance or judicial agreement, then at that time they can stop declaring them unconstitutionally. Whatever they are declaring, they must have to follow the rules and regulations. Fundamental rights and duties. As we all know that each and every citizen of India, they are having their own fundamental rights and their duties towards our country. Most valuable capital of our country is in overall development of nation, which will further lies in our fundamental duties and right. What are the rights? Right to constitutional remedies for the children 6 to 14 years of age, right to educate and also made available. What is the right for the 6 to 14 years of age? That they are having right to educate and it is provided to them. For some minority groups, government is providing free education for the age of 6 to 14. So it is one type of right and duty. If government is providing free education, then as citizen of India, it is our duty to accept it. Next is directive principle of state policy. In that, what points are mentioned? That protection of people, security, welfare, that this all should be carried out by the state. State have to look after all this, and this principle provide direction for the state governance and for policy making, and that is why it is considered as the directive principle. Next is provisions for backward sections and tribes. What are the provisions for them? Right? For backward classes, the seats are reserved for education, for educational institutes, even in the jobs opportunity. Their portion or their reserve is some percentage of reserved are kept for them, because government want to uplift them, and the government wants to include, or governments want to educate the backward classes. That is why children of backward class sections and tribes, they are given scholarship, and sometimes the facility is also given to them, and there is not necessary to pay fees in certain section. This all is mentioned in our Constitution of India. So here we are ending our today's session. Thank you.